She's from another world. She puts a smile on my face and takes me to outer space. She takes me higher, now I'm losing ground. Starlight shines over you tonight, oh tonight. 'Cause in the city night, she makes me see that I see the light. 'Cause in the city night, she makes me see that I see the light.
All right, ladies and gentlemen in the studio and around the world, welcome to the GoPro Experience in 2024. Bienvenidos. Herzlichen willkommen. We'll be starting in just under 4 minutes. If you're on Zoom, now's a good time to get to your device, turn on your cameras. Visibility is accountability, and we'll see you in about 3.5 minutes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is your 2-minute warning. 2 minutes until we start the GoPro Experience. At home, now is a good time to get back to your device. Turn on those cameras. We'll see you in 2 minutes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the GoPro Experience 2024. It's our 15th year anniversary. Are you ready? To help you take your network marketing business to the next level, please help me welcome to the stage Mr. Network Marketing Pro, Eric Worre.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How you doing? How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you all. How you doing? Everybody good? Have a seat, have a seat. Make yourself at home. We're going to spend 3 days together talking about how to get better. So who's ready to get better? Say aye. All right, fantastic. We got thousands of people from all over the world connecting in, 100 countries around the world, something like that. Good to see some of my friends in person. It's been a while for some of you. Some of you, it's the first time. Great to see you. I'm glad that you're here. We're going to have 3 days of epic fun. And I will tell you, the theme of this 15th version of GoPro is Get Loud. And I'll tell you why. This is a time in our profession where if you get loud, you'll get rewarded. And if you kind of go through the motions or you just kind of be casual, like my Les Brown friend says, if you become too casual, you'll become a casualty. That's a problem if you're casual. Casual is getting punished. Have you noticed in the last year or so? Casual is getting smacked in the head. But loud is getting rewarded. You got to have a little bit of a thicker skin to be loud, but loud is going to be rewarded. So let me talk to you about what we're going to be sharing over the course of these 3 days. You're going to learn mindset. How to develop the right mindset is probably the most important thing, because if that's messed up, everything else doesn't work. So mindset, skills. You're going to learn strategy. What's working today? I picked the speakers that we have mostly outside of our celebrity guest speakers. I picked them based upon them bringing their success stories and their case studies of exactly what's working right now. These are some of the fastest growing top people in their companies and having huge duplication, huge success. And they're going to be sharing with you what they're doing. So I think success leaves clues. And if you get connected and if you listen to good ideas from the right people, it'll matter, okay? So mindset, skills, strategy. Then we're going to talk about leadership. You, mostly focused on you, becoming a better version of you. And then finally, we're going to talk about leadership development. That's how you can help develop others, how you can become the ultimate upline, how you can build a team that's unstoppable. That's my focus for you, is that you leave here equipped, right? Mentally prepared. That we look back at the last year and say, okay, what worked and what didn't? And we look forward to 2025. I will just tell you, 2025 is going to be amazing. It really is, for those who are ready. So let me walk you through the agenda, what you can expect for these 3 days. Today, Friday, there's myself.
¿Qué puedes esperar de estos 3 días? ¿Qué puedes esperar de estos 3 días? Hoy viernes me voy a dedicar gran parte de la mañana a entrenar. Hoy viernes me voy a dedicar gran parte de la mañana a entrenar. Tenemos a Rachel Alge del Reino Unido, quien es la número 1 en su empresa. Tony Zaleski, una de las personas más importantes de su empresa. Tenemos a Rachel Alge del Reino Unido, que es la número 1 en su empresa, y a Tony Zaleski, una de las personas más importantes de su empresa. Tenemos nuestro primer panel de estrellas. Tenemos nuestro primer panel de estrellas. Tenemos 5 o 6 personas que vamos a escuchar esta tarde. Tenemos 5 o 6 personas que vamos a escuchar esta tarde. Tenemos a Jeff Hilbert. Tenemos a Jeff Hilbert. Creo que Jeff también es el número 1 en su empresa. Creo que Jeff también es el número 1 en su empresa. Y luego, al final del día, tenemos al ser humano definitivo, mi amigo Gary Brecka, que vendrá a enseñarte cómo poner tu cuerpo donde debe estar, alinearlo. Y luego, al final del día, tenemos al ser humano definitivo, mi amigo Gary Brecka, que vendrá a enseñarte cómo poner tu cuerpo donde debe estar, alinearlo. Te diré que comencé el viaje de la salud con la ayuda de Gary, hace quizás 3 años, algo así. Y le pregunté, ¿qué necesitas hacer? Y le pregunté, ¿qué necesitas hacer? ¿Qué deben hacer los emprendedores para poder aprovechar el año que viene? ¿Qué deben hacer los emprendedores para poder aprovechar el año que viene? Esto fue en diciembre de hace 3 años y me dio una respuesta que no esperaba. Esto fue en diciembre de hace 3 años y me dio una respuesta que no esperaba. Y la respuesta fue que los empresarios necesitan estar en la mejor forma posible. Y la respuesta fue que los emprendedores necesitan estar en la mejor forma posible. Físicamente. Físicamente pienso, ¿en serio? ¿Estoy como? ¿En serio? ¿Este es tu consejo para un emprendedor? ¿Este es tu consejo para un emprendedor? ¿Estar en la mejor forma posible? Dije, ¿por qué? ¿Estar en la mejor forma posible? Dije, ¿por qué? Dijo que si estás en buena forma energéticamente, atraerás todo tipo de cosas diferentes y tendrás la capacidad de liderar. Dijo que si estás en buena forma energéticamente, atraerás todo tipo de cosas diferentes y tendrás la capacidad de liderar. ¿Puedes ser más congruente con tu mensaje? Puedes ser más congruente con tu mensaje. Y él dijo, Eric, y lo estoy mirando fijamente a los ojos. Y él dijo, Eric, y lo estoy mirando fijamente a los ojos. Y dijo que, después de los 50 años, la gente normalmente hace una de 2 cosas. Y dijo que, después de los 50 años, la gente normalmente hace una de 2 cosas. O bien se ponen en la mejor forma posible o se desilusionan. No sé exactamente lo que soy, pero soy como, tengo 20 más o menos desde el 34%. No sé exactamente qué soy, pero tengo 20 más o menos de 34%. No está mal, no está nada mal. De todos modos, me embarqué en este viaje. De todos modos, comencé este viaje. Sigo pensando que es un proceso. Sigo pensando que es un proceso. Tienes que seguir este proceso correctamente. Tienes que seguir este proceso correctamente. Así que Gary Brecher fue parte de esto. Entonces Gary Brecher fue parte de esto y va a hablarles sobre cómo realmente pueden hacerse algunas cosas que todos pueden hacer para mejorar. Y él les hablará sobre algunas cosas que realmente todos pueden hacer para poder mejorar. Y para algunos de ustedes, ¿cuántos de ustedes tienen productos de salud o bienestar en alguna forma o estilo? Y algunos de ustedes, ¿cuántos de ustedes tienen productos de salud o bienestar en cualquier forma o estilo? Así que úsenlos. ¿Cómo estás, amigo? Y el domingo es solo para VIP. Y luego el domingo solo para VIP. Este es un evento de 2 días con entrada general para los asistentes en persona y VIP en línea. Este es un evento de 2 días con entrada general para aquellos que asisten en persona y para los VIP en línea. Es el tercer día y estamos Sandra Casato y yo. Es el tercer día y tenemos a Sandra Casato y a mí, nuestro tercer panel de estrellas. Nuestro tercer panel de estrellas. Contamos con el experto en alto rendimiento Brendon Burchard que vendrá aquí. Contamos con el experto en alto rendimiento Brendon Burchard que vendrá aquí. Tenemos a Ed Kramer, que también compartirá, y luego terminaremos con Mel Robbins el domingo. Tenemos a Ed Kramer, que también compartirá, y luego terminaremos con Mel Robbins el domingo. Mel es simplemente increíble. Mel es simplemente increíble. Así que, aquellos de ustedes que estén en línea y tengan una entrada de admisión general, pueden ascender a VIP cuando quieran. Pueden ir al panel de control. Así que, aquellos de ustedes que estén en línea y tengan una entrada de admisión general, pueden ascender a VIP cuando quieran. Los que estáis al panel de mostradme vuestras manos. Dejadme ver vuestras manos. Los que estáis aquí, mostradme vuestras manos. Dejadme que os vea las vuestras. Me alegro de verte. Me alegro de verte. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? También nos alegró mucho verte. También nos alegró mucho verte. Y también abrimos las redes sociales. Y también abrimos las redes sociales. Para que la gente en las redes sociales pueda ver la primera sesión hasta que tengamos nuestro primer descanso, aproximadamente a las 11:15. Para que la gente en las redes sociales pueda ver la primera sesión hasta que tengamos nuestro primer descanso, aproximadamente a las 11:15. Entonces, si quieres contárselo a tu equipo o a tus amigos o lo que sea, pueden verlo en Facebook, Instagram o YouTube durante las primeras 2 horas. Entonces, si quieres contárselo a tu equipo o a tus amigos o lo que sea, pueden verlo en Facebook, Instagram o YouTube durante las primeras 2 horas. Y si estás mirando y te gusta lo que ves, puedes ir a GoPro2024.com. Si solo quieres obtener este código QR, tómate una foto y públicala en las redes sociales y demuestra que estás conectado. Si solo quieres obtener este código QR, tómate una foto y públicala en las redes sociales y demuestra que estás conectado. Ese es Sion quien maneja las diapositivas allí atrás. Ese es Sion quien maneja las diapositivas allí atrás. Hola, Juan. Hola, Juan. Entonces, si quieres hacer eso solo por diversión, para tener otra forma de hacerte oír, otra forma de decirle al mundo que te tomas esto en serio. Entonces, si quieres hacer eso solo por diversión, para tener otra forma de hacerte oír, otra forma de decirle al mundo que te tomas esto en serio. Así que finalmente anunciamos que vamos a hacer algunos sorteos a lo largo de estos 3 días solo por diversión. Así que finalmente anunciamos que vamos a hacer algunos sorteos a lo largo de estos 3 días solo por diversión. Ya sabes, simplemente dale a la gente una razón extra para asistir a cada sesión. Así que vamos a elegir algunos y vamos a elegir uno de la tabla de clasificación. Así que vamos a elegir algunos y vamos a elegir uno de la tabla de clasificación. Y vamos a elegir 2 de la audiencia general. Y vamos a elegir 2 de la audiencia general. Y vamos a regalar tarjetas de regalo de 500 pesos solo por diversión. Y vamos a regalar tarjetas de regalo de 500 pesos solo por diversión. Así que tenemos 3 que vamos a regalar ahora mismo. Así que tenemos 3 que vamos a regalar ahora mismo. ¿O simplemente voy a recogerlos? ¿O simplemente los voy a recoger? Más tarde. Está bien, más tarde. Está bien, lo haré. Supongo que lo haremos antes del descanso o algo así. Está bien. Muy bien, lo haré. Supongo que lo haremos antes del descanso o algo así. Está bien. Muy bien. Y creo que es importante prestar atención a lo que funciona, a lo que no funciona, a los cambios que se están produciendo en el mercado e incluso a algunos de los cambios.
And people are spending billions and billions of dollars trying to get your attention, get your focus. And I think to cut through the clutter and find out what's working and then really lean into it, you're going to get a great reward for doing that. So let me just give you just some of my observations of what I'm seeing. One thing that I'm seeing is a total radical customer obsession. Customer obsession. Now, this is new for me. Not really new, but I will tell you, when I started in network marketing, I could care less about a customer.
Una gran recompensa por hacerlo. Así que usted puede preparar y defender a su equipo contra los cambios negativos que están sucediendo dentro del mundo en el que vivimos hoy. Porque el mundo en el que vivimos es distracte y la gente está gastando miles y miles de millones de dólares tratando de llamar su atención, su enfoque, y creo que para eliminar el desorden y descubrir que está funcionando y luego realmente centrarse en ello, obtendrá una gran recompensa por hacerlo. Conseguía clientes, pero no quería, ya sabes, iba a ficharlos, pero sobre todo por la historia. Ya sabes, me gustaría ficharlos, pero sobre todo por la historia que consigo. Voy a buscar 10 clientes. Voy a buscar 10 clientes. Por ejemplo, pero no porque fuera algo que me encantara hacer. Por ejemplo, pero no porque fuera algo que me encantara hacer.
Here's the product. And there's been a pretty significant shift, I would say, over the past 5 years or so. But very heavy over the last 18 months of customer first. It's working very, very, very well and repeatable. So it requires a little bit of a change in mindset, because my mindset used to be I would go sign up a customer and I would say, here's your product, and then I'd go try and go find somebody else to go build my team. If you're going to do it now with customer, it's hi, we're now friends. And we're going to stay connected, and let me help you, let me kind of coach you, let me be your friend in the product experience, let me stay in touch, let me find a way to communicate, let me find a way to kind of build trust, build belief, and over time, you could talk to them about the opportunity. It was a little bit more of a long tail, but it was more steady. It was more solid. And the sales results were phenomenal. So I had to change my thinking about that, and I'm always happy to be proven wrong. You know, with my biases, we all come in with our biases. I'm happy to be proven wrong, and this is one I'm happy to be proven wrong about, because I do think it's healthy that we have good ratios from customer to distributor. I do think it's healthy that we define them differently within the organization. For a long time, they were all defined as one thing, and that was a very dangerous thing for us, regulatory-wise and everything else. So customer obsession is one. So don't sleep on customers. You know, and I'll talk more about that in just a bit. Second one, big trend, is person to person. We developed some bad habits really fast in the pandemic. Like really fast. We were face to face, belly to belly. We'd have sit downs with people. We were meeting in Starbucks. We were meeting in coffee shops. We were meeting in, lounges. We were meeting at our offices. We were meeting in houses. We were face to face all the time. And then in 1 month, everybody said, well, I guess I can't. I'm not allowed. So I'm just going to use Zoom forever. And it worked for about a year. And then everybody got Zoom fatigue. Everybody got sick of Zoom. I mean, we still use it. I don't think we're ever going fully back. It's always going to be a blend. But those who have returned, have leaned back into person to person, are getting rewarded huge. Huge. Any type of person-to-person activity. In-home meetings are making a comeback around the world. Sit-downs in coffee shops and lunches and breakfasts around the world. Anytime you can do something in person. And I would also say live events in addition to in person as kind of a subtitle of in person. Little event tours, leader tours. When leaders are going to say, you know what, I'm going to, in 30 days, I'm going to go hit 10 markets. Or a lot of leaders will go at least hit a couple markets a month, even if it's for a day or two, just quickly. Come into the market, talk to them, give them some training, give them some face-to-face time, build relationship, right? Move to the next market. Those tours are really, really working. So next area that I'm seeing as a global trend is people leaning into training, and I'm so happy because I believe that the most skilled team wins. And you need to train people on belief. We're going to talk about that. You need to train people on skills. You need to train people on strategy. You need to train people on leadership development. You do. So my real hope over the course of this 3 days is that the notes that you're taking will become more like a teacher's manual, a trainer's manual, than they are for your personal reflection. It's going to be great for you to have, but I want you to teach it as quick as you possibly can. Lean into becoming a better trainer. Decide that you're going to become the ultimate upline. Okay? And prepare for this next 12 months as quick as you can. So training is another big trend. The next big trend, I would say, is innovative leadership. We're kind of an old school, we get set in our ways real quick. And we have something that works, and sometimes we just dig our heels in and we refuse to innovate. And there's systems that are out there, and there's leaders who are out there who are just taking fundamental concepts and they're applying innovation to those fundamental concepts. And they're creating more duplication because of it. They're taking what's always worked and they're finding new ways to package it. Make it fresh, make it interesting, make it fun, make it light instead of making it heavy. So innovations when it comes to campaigns, innovation when it comes to challenges, innovation when it comes to systems, innovation when it comes to communication, innovations, tapping into AI. I'm of the big belief that if you're not learning now to use artificial intelligence as a tool to be able to assist you in growing your network and growing your organization, you are going to be at a huge disadvantage. I'm talking about like in the next 12 months, you're going to be like an antique. You know? Those who and you just got to start now. You just got to start. Understand it's a little, hard to, but it's not that hard to figure out. This mic keeps moving around on me. It starts up here and it keeps coming out. All you have to do is go on YouTube and say, teach me about AI. And you can watch some videos of people who make it very simple and and then figure out the tools that will work in your organization. So innovation in lots of different areas. So we're going to be talking a bit about that. And then visionary mindset. The visionary mindset. The big thinkers are winning. The small thinkers are struggling. Okay? So I don't think you can think too big. And in our business, there's no limits to how far you can go if you'll change your thinking. But it's my strong belief that 2025 is going to be a quantum leap type of a year. I think this is the year when it's going to be survival of the fittest. And in this last year, we've seen some companies and organizations that were unfit. And the market did what it does. But it's going to be a tale of two cities. And it's going to be the best of times for some, it's going to be the worst of times for others. Those that don't change, those that don't grow, those that don't get better, they'll always have something to blame inside of network marketing. It's never going to be their fault. But those who take charge, those like you that are here to prepare, you're going to be ready to be able to take advantage. So I've got to tell you, the next 12 months can change your life. Do everything you possibly can now to prepare. Again, another Les Brown quote. He said, I'd rather be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than have an opportunity and not be prepared. You're going to have an opportunity in 2025 to change everything. To go from invisible to being visible in your company. To go from being visible to being a leader in your company. To go from being a leader to a legend in our profession. That can happen really, really fast. Who's ready to become a legend? Yeah? All right. Good. So do everything you can, everything possible to prepare, okay? If you're ready to prepare, say aye. If you're ready to prepare online, put a number 7 in the chat. Let me see if you're awake. They're ready. All right, so let's get started on the 5 categories that I was going to share with you. And we're going to talk a bit about mindset, skills, and a little bit on strategy today. And more on strategy tomorrow from me. And then leadership and leadership development heavy on day 3, okay? But let's start with mindset. Show me the next slide, please. So all of us have been programmed since we were little kids. This is one big computer, ones and zeros, okay? And if you're going to program a computer, we're all kind of living in a computer age. You're going to program a computer. You're giving it input, right? We've all been programmed to do what we do, think how we think, eat what we eat, go where we go, live how we live, ever since we were little. And we were told what's good and what's bad. We were told mostly to be outer directed. And what I mean by that is the world has trained us to do as we're told. Brush your teeth or there's going to be consequences. Make your bed or there's going to be consequences. Stop hitting your sister or there's going to be consequences. Do your homework or there's going to be consequences, right? So we do what we're told to do, and then as soon as we're not told to do it, we just don't do anything. And it continues. We go through school, you better graduate or there's going to be consequences. And then you get a job, right? Show up on time and there's going to be consequences. At least perform at the minimum requirements or there's going to be consequences. So our whole life is this outer directed thing. So the programming that's been planted in our brains brings you to where we are today. And welcome. In whatever package you've shown up. And whatever beliefs that you have. But I want to talk to you about your beliefs for a second. Because some of the beliefs are serving you. They've helped you become who you are today. They've helped you make the decision to be here. They helped them make the decision to travel across the world to show up, to be here online and make a commitment, to make the decision to become an entrepreneur and join your company. Your beliefs helped you do that. So some of them are serving you, and some of them are not. Some of them are hurting you. And I'm a firm believer that if you can change your mind, you can change your life. And I've realized, especially in the last 3 years, I've been in some big rooms. I've been in some big rooms with some very important people. And you ever find yourself in a room that's so big that you just should be quiet? I've been in a lot of those rooms in the last 3 years, and I come home pissed off. And I like the feeling of being mad, because I'm realizing, why am I playing so small? Why am I limiting what's possible? Why am I'm in the kiddie games. I'm on the playground. I haven't even started. I mean, this is just, and I'm just like, ugh. And there's two entrepreneurs that I probably admire the most in the world. Jeff Bezos on one side, Elon Musk on the other. They're two of my favorites. So I study everything that they do. Every single thing. Let me give you some of my observations on Jeff Bezos as an example. His mission to start was to become the world's most customer-obsessed company. Customer-obsessed. Absolutely, ridiculously obsessed. Become so great. And these two, I'm not going to talk about politics, but I will talk about politics for 1 second. One owns the Washington Post. The other one one kind of Democratic leaning. The other one's kind of Republican leaning. But are any Republicans? Jeff Bezos is more on the Democrat side. Are any Republicans refusing to buy from Amazon? The product's so good that the politics doesn't matter. Are there Democrats saying, I'm not going to buy a Tesla anymore? Come on. The product's so good, the experience is so good, that the personalities don't even matter. So become customer obsessed. And here's how this applies to us. There's what the company can do, and there's what you can do. And believe it or not, you're the secret weapon. The product's the product. First of all, you're going to educate the consumer about the product that you have. Second, you're going to be there to help, guide, instruct, lead a person through a product experience. But you're part of the customer obsession. Do you understand? You're part of the customer. You make the product experience better. You add the human element to the actual product. And so long as you realize your role there, that you're part of the magic that makes the product really sing, everything will change. So that's the first one that blew my mind, and I've listened to everything that he's ever said, and he doesn't say much. He did a 1-hour interview yesterday, which I had listened to 3 times. It's unbelievable. You can find it on YouTube. So good. The guy's so smart. Second, this is one of the things that I love so much, is to become the world's most decisive company. He has 1.5 million employees, and his mission is to be the world's most decisive company. Make decisions, make them fast. Decide, move. Decide, go. Decide, be efficient. Decide. You know, where we'll sit around for 90 days trying to figure out what we're going to do with our little Getting Started program, he'll have it done in 2. We'll take a year figuring out what our event promotion calendar is going to look like, or something. He'll have it done in 1. Just get that done. Be done with it. Next, 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 next. He has a concept called one-way doors and two-way doors. Decisions. And you can think about this as you're building your organization. A one-way door is a big decision. If you go down this road, you go through the door, you can't come back. It's huge. And then there's two-way doors. You walk through, oh, I don't like this. You can walk right back. So there's some things you can risk with your organization to say, we're going to try this thing as a campaign. We're going to try this thing as a challenge. But it's not necessarily baked into a system yet. You know what I mean? But you might not want to go all the way on a one-way door saying, we're changing everything for the whole team if you haven't tested it. You haven't figured it out. Okay? So one-way doors, two-way doors. The other thing that he is fanatical about is paying attention to every tiny little detail. Your team page, your communication, the way that you connect with your organization, the way that you train, the language that you use, tiny details. Look to fix little tiny details, little tiny problems within the organization. There's a little distraction over here, learn how to fix that quick. Next is what he calls day one thinking. He said if you go to day one thinking is new, it's fresh, it's exciting, it's giving birth to a project or a philosophy of how you're going to grow. And he wanted to keep Amazon as day one thinking every single day, day one thinking. Because when you go to day two, that starts to lead to decline, it starts to lead to stasis, eventually leads to death. And you see organization after organization get out of day one thinking. And if I can be, would you give me permission? Raise your hand if you give me permission to be honest with you. Some of you need to get back to day one thinking. Some of you have been around a little while, and you've just slipped into day two without even realizing it. And it leaks out of your body, this day two thinking, which sends the message to the world that now is not the time. Or you can be casual, take all the time you want. We've been around for forever. You start being too cool. You start buying your own press. Some of you need to freshen your minds. And remember the first time you got a check? Your very first check, remember? And you went, oh my God, this is real. This thing actually worked. I got paid. Or when the product worked for you the very first time and you had your first product experience, and oh my gosh. Or somebody joined your team for the first time. Remember the first person to join your team? They're probably not here, but remember them? How exciting it was. You had a team. Oh my gosh, I've got a team. And then remember the first time somebody from your team got somebody without your help? Oh my God. I might have freedom. This might actually work. So you got to do a little Jedi mind trick on your own brain and freshen your mind. Go back to day one. Because that day one energy will change how people perceive you and will change how people respond to you. You'll build a different team if you can freshen your mind. And if these guys can do it, like Jeff Bezos doesn't need to be in day one. But he is in day one. He says he's working harder than he's ever worked in his life. And he's more excited than he's ever been in his life. He works from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. every single day. And he's like a kid, excited about it. And he's worth $200 billion. Some of you became worth $1 million and you stopped. Some of you got $100,000 in the bank and you stopped. Some of you got your bills taken care of and you stopped. You lost that childlike excitement and you just said, you know what? I've arrived. You're in the kiddie games. You put a lid on yourself that you don't need to put there. It doesn't need to be there. You understand? So, day one thinking, refresh your mind, is important. Next is constant reinvention. Reinvention, and then reinvention, and then reinvention, and reinvention. And Musk and Bezos both kind of work on this principle of constant innovation, reinvention. Because, I mean, Bezos could have stopped with Amazon, right? He could have stopped with just selling books. Right. Just selling books. And be the biggest bookseller in the world. That's where he started. But then he reinvented. And said if we could sell books, we can sell something else. Interesting. Want to hear an interesting Amazon story? 1995. He needs to raise money to launch Amazon. So he does an angel round. And he values the company at $5 million. And he sells 20% of it for $1 million. So he was basically selling it. He went to 63 people, one by one, and to get about 20 people who said yes to about $50,000 for 1%. $50,000 for 1% of the company. Okay? And he said the other 43 were hard-earned no's. They're after many meetings, many conversations, presentations, answering questions, everything possible, hard-earned no's. So, what do you think 1% is worth today? It's somewhere north of $10 billion. 50,000 to 10 billion. And he would go do all the heavy lifting. Now, I want you to imagine, what would it be like to be one of the 43? It says, I was there. I had the money. I could have done it, and I didn't. But there were some of those 20 that when their 50,000 turned into 100,000, you know what they did? They sold. They made 50,000, they're a winner. Are they? Were they thinking big or thinking small? Small. 100% returns. What are you talking about? I'm making $5,000 a month in my network marketing company. What are you talking about? I'm making 6 figures in my network marketing company. What are you talking about? I'm not playing small. There were some that the value in the dot-com crash went below 50,000 for the 1%. And they sold at a loss. Can you imagine buying 1% of Amazon and then selling it at a loss? It's worse than saying no. There was one of the people had his brother was giving him so much, his brother-in-law was giving him so much crap about buying this online bookseller that he gave him some stock. Now his brother-in-law is a billionaire. Just from giving him a little bit of the stock that he had in that structure. So again, it started with books. Then it went to reinvention. We can sell more than books. Then it went to reinvention. This is not chronological. We could be the everything store. Then it went to reinvention. We're going to make this one click. All you have to do is one click. And boom, it's like a magic trick. There'd be a package show up. And then we said, reinvention, free shipping. Then they said, reinvention, Amazon Prime. Then they said, reinvention, let's do AWS. Right? Now it's reinvention. He's spending most of his time in AI to take the customer experience and make it so spectacular, it's going to blow everybody's mind. And then he said, I've always been fascinated with space, so reinvention. So Blue Origin started. It's just, that's an example of constant reinvention. What do you need to do? What's next for you? It's just the same old shit? Pardon my language? But is it? Or are you prepared to take it to the next level? Because you can. You just have to see it first. And AWS happened by those tiny little attention to detail. One click happened as a bunch of little two-way door conversations that turned into one click. So the journey, you can see the next thing, and your vision should lead you to that reinvention. And you should reinvent. And then after that, you should be always thinking, what's next? What can I do next? What's next for my team? What's next for my leadership? What's next? I want you to think, for example, for a moment, Jeff Bezos joins your team. And he can only, this is the only way he can make money, is to build an organization in your network marketing company, on your team. He's a human being just like you are. What would that machine look like? What would that organization look like? What would the training look like? What would the communication look like? What would the vision be? You got to learn to be able to share this vision more strongly than you have been doing up to this point. See, we get tricked because we have this little business with a little startup cost, and we do it from home. Don't really have an office, don't have employees. And because of that, we treat it little. You know, we don't reinvest into our business. You know, most people in network marketing play in the amateur pool, expecting their upline or their company to do everything for them, or the product to magically do something for them, or their team to do more than they're willing to do. And they play with a lid, a hard lid, over the top of their heads. And there's no need for that lid. It's an artificial lid. So constant reinvention. Another thing that I admire about Jeff Bezos is he gave up on needing the approval of other people. Tom Brokaw once interviewed him and said, can you even spell the word profit? Because he didn't make money for 18 years. Can you spell the word profit? He said, yes, P-R-O-P-H-E-T. I can spell the word profit. So that's what's required, actually, is to let go of the opinions of others and not feel the need to justify yourself or to have everybody understand who you are. Just live and do your thing. He was famous for going on to shareholder calls and not giving any information. I don't care, he said to the shareholders. I'm going to do what's right for the business. I'm going to do what's right for the company. I'm going to grow and scale. I'm going to do what's right for Amazon. And buy or sell, I don't care. Well, what are you going to, we want you to do this. I don't care what you think. You don't have to be a shareholder. You can sell anytime. He's famous for doing that. Where other CEOs were kissing the investors' butts all the time, please, please stay invested in our company. He didn't care. He had a completely different posture. I think that's strong. Finally, big thinking. Big thinking. He just blows my mind. He said in his interview yesterday, he said, thinking small is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Big thinking. And he's He's reinventing himself right now. You know, he and I are the same age. Crazy. He's in better shape. But if he's got that much vision and that much kind of ability to reinvent, then I can too. And so can you. So I want to challenge you to do that. Now let me tell you some of the lessons I learned from Elon Musk. This is one of the most interesting guys in the world. This guy is just all about innovation. That's what he's all about. He says, find a problem and then solve it. Find a problem and solve it. That's all he does. He's a guy that I think is literally going to re-engineer the world. No joke. Anything that's good for people, good for society, whatever, he's just going to find a way to do it. Sending rockets to space and having them land back on the Earth. I mean, come on. He's all about making things simpler and more efficient. Think about what you can do to make things simpler and more efficient. Simpler and more efficient. Why? Why is it this many steps? Why could it be less than that? Why, can we make it easier? Can we make it lighter? Can we make it more fun? He wants to, if you've ever been in a Tesla, he wants to make the Tesla experience fun. He literally wants it to be fun. He puts all kinds of Easter eggs inside of that thing. You know, the car will dance, the car will make the different songs, and it'll do all kinds of different things. You know, just because he wants to make it fun, he put one up in space, in orbit, just for fun. But he's serious about re-engineering everything. So he has a huge capacity for taking risk. And again, you gave me permission to be honest with you, right? Some of you, as soon as you got a living income from your network marketing company, you started to play defense. You started to pay more attention to protecting what you have than building something bigger. And you started to be way more focused on anything that might risk your income. You didn't want to offend somebody from your team. You know, so I can't do that. I can't risk that. Even though it's the right thing, I can't do it. Even though I should do it, I want to do it, but I can't do it. So you start playing defense. You're on your back foot, or you're too casual, right? He built up PayPal, sold it, took every penny and put it into a solar company and put it into Tesla. Every penny. And he was one launch, and when he started SpaceX, he was one launch away from bankruptcy. If you made $100 million, would you take every penny and put it into a couple startups? All of it? And then would you risk it all on a process to go to Mars? Huge capacity for risk. Incredible capacity for risk. So are you playing offense or are you playing defense? That's the question. Okay? What I want for you is to play offense. You know, to just know, and Maureen and I have a very large capacity for risk. Like this studio was insane. This was like launching a spaceship for us. Okay? It was $20 million we did not have and no time to build it. And we just had to figure it out. So we said yes, we told the world, and we figured it out. But I'm telling you, I don't know anybody. All of my friends said, "You're doing what?" Ugh, dude, are you sure? It's like, I think so. After this conversation, you're making me a little less sure, but thank you. But you know what gave us, and I want you to understand something about yourselves, okay? You can let go of playing defense. And let me tell you why. You all have earning power. Marina and I have earning power. We can earn. You could take it all. We'd have it back very quickly. You know why? Because we have earning power. We have a value to bring to the marketplace. We have something that's worth, someone would pay us for the value that we can bring in the marketplace. Same thing's true with you. You don't have to play defense once you get to an income. You don't have to play defense once you get to a rank. You don't have to play defense once you get some sort of accolade inside of your company. Be willing to let all of that go in order to be able to go to the next level. Okay? Change your capacity for risk. Change your relationship with risk. Also, Elon Musk does not need the approval of others. And I won't quote him exactly, but a year ago, he was being interviewed and said, "What do you think about the advertisers boycotting X?" He said, "You can go blank yourself." And he looked to the audience, he stopped looking at the interviewer and said, "You can go blank yourself. I don't care. I'm doing it anyway. Deal with it." Because he had a different vision. So if you have the ability not to be held hostage by the opinions of others, you are unstoppable now. Really, truly. So again, big thinking. Both of them focus on two very, very important things. Excellence, and contribution. That's how they measure. Jeff Bezos said yesterday, he said, "I never set out to be the richest person in the world. I was for a bit. I don't mind not being one. It was never a goal of mine." He said, "What I wish somebody would make is a list of how much a person contributed to the lives of others." That's the real list. And here's what's great. All of you can contribute to more people than you're contributing to now. Would you agree? Yeah. How many frontline people would Elon Musk have? 5? 500? 5,000? What would his systems look like? I mean, come on. So, back to your mindset. Those two really inspire me. There's others that inspire me as well. And some, like Dana White here in town, he inspires me as well. And some of the similar, he's an incredible entrepreneur. And some of the similar things. He just is going to be who he's going to be, and he doesn't care. He's going to build what he's going to build. And he doesn't care. He doesn't play defense at all. He plays offense at all times. Even in the face of some pretty crazy adversity. You know, he started this slap. Have you seen the slap thing? Where people are just like slapping each other. They get up on stage and they go 1, 2, 3, and they slap each other across the face. He just said, "I'm going to start this slap league." I'm talking to him. He invested $10 million into Slap League. About less than 2 years ago. And 1 month before, him and his wife got in a little fight on New Year's Eve. And she slapped him and he didn't respond well, and it was caught on TMZ. So, and now he's launching Slap. 3 weeks later, you know what his response was? He said, "Look, the only people I owe an apology to is my kids, my family, and we've taken care of all that. Everybody else, do what you're going to do. We're moving forward. We're going." Okay? All right. So, but again, this guy, but what a team. What a vision. Built it from nothing to gargantuan. So, I'm going to give you a little bit of homework, and we're going to do something together. All of you have beliefs from prior to network marketing that are still in your mind today, right? And some of you have beliefs after you joined network marketing that have been formed since you joined. You know, like people don't want to work. My people in the United States are lazy. Or whatever. Some of the beliefs are serving you, and some of those beliefs are hurting you. So what I want to do as we start this experience together is I want to talk about some of these beliefs. So I want you to answer this question. Let's make a little list. I will be more successful as I move into the future because. Here's why I'll be more successful. Why I'm going to succeed, why I'm going to go to higher levels, why I'm going to earn more income, why I'm going to get to the top ranks in my company, why I'm going to contribute to the lives of others. Here's why. So this is an empowering belief. So give me, Jeff, what's one of your superpowers? You're going to be loud. All right. Be an example. That's a belief that he has. Be loud, be an example. What's another belief that you have? Not ashamed. Proud. Proud, yeah. That's what a superpower. Serve by example. Serve by example. Got it. Obsessed. I'm going to be obsessed. That's obsessed with customers. All right, great. Take more risk. Say again. I'm going to be more consistent. Sorry for my handwriting. I'm a big thinker. I have big belief. I have confidence. Vision. Integrity. Focused. Determination. Now, hold on for a second. Are these real beliefs that you have? Or are you just throwing out words? Now again, I'm just asking the question. I'm not judging you. If they're really beliefs you have about yourself, that this is what I really believe, great. I just don't want you just throwing out words. You know what I mean? We can lie to, we can be less than transparent with the world, but we should at least be honest with ourselves. Right? Because these beliefs are going to shape you. Agree? One way or the other, they're going to shape you. So what's another belief that you have about yourself that's going to cause you to succeed? Being authentic and passionate. Haha, I love it. ADHD is going to help me. 100%. 100%. I can't tell you how many people I know that are dyslexic and are successful because they were dyslexic. It caused them to be more focused and it caused them to be more disciplined in order to be able to figure things out. So what else? Sorry? Your age? How is your age you'll be more successful because of your age? Why?
Not now, but in the past, I thought that I need to be 40 years old to have success.
Oh, you thought you need to be 40 years old to be successful? That's what you under 40, you didn't feel like you deserved it? Okay, so your age now, that was maybe a limiting belief that now that are you over 40 now? Okay, you're over 40 now, so now you get to make money. Congratulations. Your accent? Your accent helps you? Really? That's your superpower? All right, fantastic. Never quit. Creative, you're creative? Creative strategist, love that. Oh, I got to write that down because she yelled it. All right, we got a pretty good little list, right? I'd like you to just take a moment and just jot down some things that are empowering beliefs about you, empowering beliefs about yourself, that you believe are going to assist you in building a huge career here. So just jot them down because they're important. Because you got to lean on these things. These are the ones that are serving you. These are the ones that are helping you. These are the ones that are guiding you. Right? And we'll continue that in a minute. This is important on what's working. You know what's also important is your limiting beliefs. Empowering beliefs are important to be able to lean into, and even some of the empowering beliefs were a limiting belief that you, like age. That was a limiting belief that all of a sudden you passed this invisible marker and now you gave yourself permission to start winning, right? So sometimes you can take a limiting belief and then change it, that's fine. But answer this question: I would be more successful if. I'll give you some examples. And all of you have these limiting beliefs. I'd be more successful if I had more time. I'd be more successful if I had more support. I'd be more successful if my leaders would go to work. I'd be more successful if the company would do this or that. I'd be more successful if we had different products or innovative products. I'd be more successful if I spoke another language. What are some things that you have bought? What are some beliefs that you have bought into that maybe are not serving you? Now, I need you to dig deep on this one. What is something that's causing you to play smaller than you should? Sensitivity. So again, let me package that. The sensitivity is like, we talked about Bezos and Musk and their willingness to not need to be approved by others. So the sensitivity is the need for approval, right? Guilt. If I didn't feel guilty, yeah, I'd be more successful if I didn't feel bad for my kids. What am I going to do? Right? Mom guilt or whatever. Yes, past failures. If what about you'd be more successful if you figured out AI? Okay. You're more successful if you figured out AI, all right. If you could manage your time. Doubt, lack of belief, personal, indecision. Huh? Buying your excuses? It's not you? So what's a limiting belief that you have? Yes, you do. You got a ton of them. You got a ton of them. You just have to dig and you have to search in order to be able to find them. Because what's the reason why you're not earning more than you're earning? Tell me.
Maybe creating leadership skills that I need to create the leaders I need, which I feel I'm pretty good at.
Yeah, but it's like creating the leaders that you need. But again, you got to explore this, because I don't know how much you're making, but it's not what your capacity is. So there's a gap between what you're earning, what your capacity is, and that gap. The reason why that gap exists is because of the limiting beliefs that you have in your own mind that you've allowed to let you play to the level that you're playing. Make sense? Now, this is hard work because it's against our nature to take responsibility for our success or failures. Because we always we're really, really good at arguing for our own beliefs. And Richard Bach, one of my favorite authors, he says, argue for your limitations, and sure enough, they're yours. Right? Argue for your limitations, and sure enough, they're yours. So, I mean, I thought my lack of education, I had huge self-worth issues that was causing me to play small. I needed the approval of other people. I was a people pleaser. Go ahead. Yeah, great.
I'm a little red, and so I need to get more in tune to my emotions.
He's a little red, he says. If you do the colors and the personality, red, you get to get more tuned into your emotions. If you got more tuned into your emotions, you'd be more relatable to other people. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe he'd be a little bit more relatable. If he could be a little bit more relatable, and maybe that's a superpower, being red. Maybe. But what I want you to examine for real is you got to come up with what is the thing that is the choke point that's causing you to play at the level that you're playing at right now. What is it? You got to find it. I'm afraid. I'm distracted. I'm procrastinated. I'm comfortable. Huh? Broken promises. Yeah, I've been betrayed before. So I don't want to put myself out there again because I'm going to get my feelings hurt. And I just said, no more. I'm not doing that. Imposter syndrome. Don't feel like you belong. Lack of consistency? Yep. Here's what I would tell you. I had this strong belief about myself that I wasn't enough. Okay? That imposter syndrome, all of that. And ultimately, you'll hear from Marina talking about self-worth tomorrow. But on self-worth, I thought I'd figured it out because I really had very little self-worth growing up. Needed the approval of other people. Never really fit in. And I thought I handled it by getting into network marketing and having success. But you know what happened? My self-worth exhibited itself, or my lack of self-worth showed up in my programming because every time I started to have momentum and success, I'd sabotage my own success. Every time I'd get a little momentum, I all of a sudden would be inconsistent. All of a sudden I would procrastinate. All of a sudden, for no reason I could describe to others, I would not return somebody's phone call. I would not be there when I said I was going to be there. And then my team would get mad and they'd start to fall apart and crumble and people would get upset and offended. And then I'd come back in as a scrappy underdog to, because that was what I related to. And then I'd hit that ceiling again, and then and here's how it exhibited itself. I made a ton of money, but I never had any. I had tons of cash flow, but I never had any because it made me feel uncomfortable to have it. It's what making some of you buy everybody in your team breakfast, lunch, and dinner every time you're with them. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that to be liked. You don't have to do that to be a big shot. You don't have to do that because you somehow owe them something. But I did. And I still struggle with it. But I'm aware of it. And I want you to be aware of it. So here's what I want to do. I want to do our first little breakout session. And we're gonna take everybody. First of all, those of you who are watching from home, if you're getting some value so far, put a 1 in the chat. If this is working out for you, you're getting something as we're getting started. Cool, cool, cool. All right, we're gonna use some technology and we're gonna do some stuff here in the room. For those of you in the room, I want you to get in groups of 5. Groups of 5. And it would be better if you're not in groups where you are like your group, unless it's you have language issues. Get in groups that you don't know each other. And I want you to share at least one limiting belief and the impact that that limiting belief has had so far on your network marketing business. Just share that one. And all of you have plenty, believe me. We could spend a little time, we'll dig deep, we'd find it. But share one with the other person, okay? Whoever has the shortest hair is the captain and goes first. All right? So we're gonna break you into groups online as well. So everybody play all out. We're gonna take 15 minutes. I just want you to share and then get back in your seats 15 minutes from right now, okay? Play like a pro, all in, virtual and in person. Ready, set, go.
I let you through the first mistake. I follow every move you make. But I'm not sure if what I do is wrong. You're someone that I need to see, or fade into a memory. It's an obsession that is much too strong. I know that I said I have never been wrong, but we stopped talking long ago. I know that I lost, but I'm not moving on. Something
on the because
about to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, down with my own doubts. Be free with me. Be free. Be free with me. Be free. Not looking back, eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde, a classic cliche. We're on the run, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, down with my own doubts. Be free with me. Be free. Be free with me.
up a lot.
Be free with me. Yeah, let's go. Be free with me. Oh, come on and let's go. Let's be free with me. Yeah, be free. Be free. Be free with me.
Can we work it out? Only time will tell. It's gonna take a lot, 'cause we've been through hell. I can't be without you. I've tried and I failed. So can we work it out? Only time will tell. Why do you keep telling me nothing? But I know all your flaws, at least they say something. Still I try to connect with you through your eyes. Your eyes. What is on your mind? I think it's time to speak. I have crossed the line, but no, not just me. I'm feeling something that goes beyond us. Can we work it out? Only time will tell. It's gonna take a lot, 'cause we've been through hell. I can't be without you. I've tried and I failed. So can we work it out? Yeah. Only time will tell. I still want all of you and I always
3 minutes, everybody. If you're done, start making your way back to your seats. We got a lot to cover. Yeah. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Are you? Those in person, start finding your way back to your seats, please.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
You look excellent.
Thank you, brother.
They are so good. That is like.
Got it? 1 minute, everybody. Make your way back to your seats. 50 seconds.
Formally say hello. Thank you so much. You're amazing. Becky and the baby will be here.
Love it. Let's start bringing everybody back from our virtual connections.
I remember myself young and restless.
20 seconds. All right, all right. Give yourselves a big round of applause, everybody. All right, all right. So, as you're finding your seats, those of you at home, and hello, Brenda. How are you? Good to see you, everybody. This is a little blurry. I see Patty. I see Sean. Hi, Sean. What's up? Everybody from home, in the chat, here's what I would love you to do. What's one thing that you got out of this little breakout? What's one realization that you realized? Put it into the chat, please. What's one thing that you got? You have hang-ups, we're all the same, you're not alone. Pretty much the same, isn't it? Isn't it interesting? Some people got some book recommendations. But reprogramming your mind is a never-ending battle. It's layer upon layer, it's level upon level. There's levels to this stuff. I didn't think. Do you know there's levels beyond the top of your comp plan? There is. Way beyond. There's levels beyond cash flow. There's levels beyond paying your bills. There's levels beyond the small group that you're contributing to. There's levels. So give me some observations here in the room. You're seeing the basic same things that you're seeing. Letting go, realizing it's okay. In corporate world, it's very dangerous to share your struggle and to be authentic and vulnerable, right? Because you can become a target real quick. But in our world, it's actually important to be self-aware and realize what might be holding us back. So what's something that you realized? Raise your hand if you have something. Hold on.
So
Hand that back.
So the biggest thing I realised is that the limiting beliefs I have when I'm talking to people that I really look up to, that I respect for their position in our company and how they conduct themselves, they have the same.
Right.
That's been the biggest thing for me.
Yeah. So you're not alone. You're not, there's nothing weird about you. You're normal. The abnormal, right? The abnormal are the ones who go beyond. The normal ones just stay in their lane. They do as they're told. The abnormal are the ones that, think different. Who else has something? Go ahead.
We had really international team and actually sharp people, but it was surprising to me, that actually they had the same issue. So it doesn't matter.
What was the issue?
It was, self-limiting belief, pretty much.
Yes, I know, but
just to put it together.
Limiting belief can't just be that you have limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
What are they? You know what I mean?
Usually,
this
like,
is the work that I think I just want you all to be thinking about. Acknowledging that you have them is one thing. Identifying what they really are
going deep
is another thing. So, and this is a journey. It's not something you're going to figure out in 5 seconds. Sometimes it can happen fast. You realize, oh my gosh, I've been doing this my whole life. Here's a place to find limiting beliefs is in your repeating patterns. What keeps happening to you over and over and over and over and over again? What keeps happening over and over? That's what will give you a roadmap to figure out where your limiting beliefs actually are. The things that continually happen to you. You might have limiting beliefs about your people. You might have limiting beliefs about your product, limiting beliefs about yourself, limiting beliefs about your family, limiting beliefs about the world, limiting beliefs about your country, limiting beliefs about network marketing, right? So do me a favor, just for fun, if you're making more than $25,000 a year in network marketing, put a 25 in the chat or stand up if you're in the room. More than 25,000. More than 25,000 per year, US. More than $25,000 a year. Stand up. See all the 25s in the chat? See all the people standing in the room? All right, if you're making more than $50,000 a year, remain standing. If not, sit down. And if you're making more than 50, put it in the chat. The room didn't change much. If you're making more than $75,000 a year, put a 75 in the chat. If you're making more than 75, stay standing. Rest, sit down. If you're making more than $100,000 a year, more than 100, go in the chat or remain standing. Let's take a look around. No real difference between the 25 people and the 100 people. They're sitting right next to each other. They're not that special. I mean, look at these people that are making 100. I mean, do they look like you'd pick them out? Like, oh, that one's for sure. 150, remain standing. Rest, sit down. 200, remain standing. Rest, sit down. 250, remain standing. Rest, sit down. 300 a year, remain standing. Rest, sit down. 400 a year, $400,000 a year, remain standing. Rest, sit down. $500,000 a year, working from home, solopreneurs, remain standing. 500, put it in the chat. Rest, sit down. 600,000. Oh, we lost a few there. 700,000, remain standing. 800,000, remain standing. 900,000, remain standing. $1 million a year, remain standing. All right, now we're going to go levels. 1.5 million a year, remain standing. Well, 1, 2, are you 3? No, you're not quite there yet, right? 2 million a year remain standing. 3 million a year remain standing? Oh, we lost one. So Jeff, are you still standing? You're drinking coffee. So Sandro, let me just ask you, my friend who's standing here in the room. What was, I'm just going to ask him a number. He doesn't need the mic. And this is, we're talking amongst friends here. This is not an income claim. It's just a belief thing. You've been involved in network marketing for how long? 4 years. Okay. How many customers on your team approximately? Yeah, customers. 150,000? 150,000 distributors plus customers. Yes. And in 4 years with no network marketing experience, how much you make last month? Yeah, dollars. $770,000. For 1 month. For 1 month. I want you to think about something. Look at this guy. Stand up again. Sandro, stand up. He's not that sharp. He's nothing special. He's just a guy. He's just a guy. He's a guy who came to this as a business with a big vision and a big dream. He painted the picture and he worked to build an organization with no experience. So whatever most of you in this room have more experience than he does. But do you have the same vision? Do you have the same belief? And some of you are going to go say, well, what's his product? Because his product must be making the difference. The comp plan, that must be it. Oh, you live in Switzerland, right? He's in Switzerland. Well, the Swiss, you know the Swiss. It's not that. It's none of those things. There's no difference between somebody in this room that's making $20,000 a year and somebody who's making $8 million a year. No difference. As far as what is available to you, it's only what you're going to do with it. And how small are you going to play for how long? All right, so let's give Sandro one more big round of applause. Well done. Okay. This is big work and it's important work and it's day by day work. Please commit to me. How many will agree that you are going to raise your awareness when it comes to your limiting beliefs? You're going to chop them down one by one and you're going to replace them with empowering beliefs. If you agree with that, say aye. If you agree with that online, put a 7 in the chat. All right, fantastic. So we talked a bit about mindset, right? Developing this different mindset, letting go of the opinions of others, reprogramming your mind, that's life work. Now I want to talk about skills. So my advice to everybody, people ask me, they come up, can you give me some advice? You've been in this profession for 37 years. Tell me what would you do? You know what my advice always is? Some of you might think it's build your mindset. It's not. Because guess what? Shifting your mindset takes time. You can't just, sometimes, unless it's a major life moment, it can change in an instant, right? Like you abuse your health for forever, and then you have a heart attack, and it's a wake-up call, and you change everything, okay? Some either major life crisis happens that causes you to change, or you lean on it. And for me, network marketing was a belief building and mindset grinding wheel. Remember, like an old-fashioned grinding wheel where they would take a piece of metal and they would form that piece of metal with that stone. And I was the piece of metal and I was just leaning on that stone and it was knocking off all the rough edges one by one limiting belief after another, time, in order to be able to do it, right? Because this is the one thing, this is how I finally figured this out for me, is everybody wants to start with activity, right? What should I do? And because activity leads to results, which leads to your lifestyle, everybody wants to start here. But on this side of activity, there's your attitude. And your beliefs have a huge impact on your attitude, right? Because if you don't feel like doing it, when people aren't watching, you're going to stop doing it. And before your attitude is your programming. Your beliefs, all the inputs that go into your programming create your attitude ultimately, which create your activity, which create your results, which create your lifestyle. Yeah? So for me, it was a huge problem when I saw this for the first time from Jim Rohn. He basically explained your thinking creates your feelings create your actions create your results create your lifestyle. I was like, oh, then it's going to take me forever because I have to reprogram all of this because this is all messed up. But you know what I found out? If you have enough hunger, you can do the activity. The hunger itself will cause you to do the activity when you don't feel like it. And if you do the activity enough, you'll become good at the activity and it'll change your attitude about it. I was terrified to speak in front of people. But they said the person with the marker makes the money. And I'm like, oh man. So guess what? If you go do 100 presentations, your attitude about those presentations is going to change. You're going to, you know what? I'm pretty good. I'm good at this now. You do 3 presentations, you're going to feel terrible every time. You do 1 presentation a month, once a month, you'll be terrified. Or just do 100 in the next 30 days and be liberated. So I found out the secret for me was it doesn't have to do this. For me, it started here and it went backwards to programming, and then that changed my attitude, and then I went here, and then I went there, and then I went there. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can do this. You know, I had 18 jobs by the time I was 23 years old. I can do this though. It literally changed everything. So the advice I give to people when they come to me and they say, Eric, what should I do? I want to make a career in this business. My answer is always the same. Focus on the skills. Learn the skills. Because if you learn the skills, you become highly skilled, guess what? What's going to happen to your confidence? Going to go up. When your confidence goes up, do you take more action or less action? More. When you take more action, do you get more results or less results? More. So the skills are the thing. And the great thing about network marketing is it'll wait for you. It'll wait for you. At the beginning, you can lean on other people's skills. Right? But eventually, you got to say, you know what? I have to do it too. I can't just lean on my upline. I can't lean on my support system. I can't lean on other people or the events or anything else. I've got to learn to do it. So if you go competence, you can grow confidence. Competence is the thing. Grow competence. Become good. My life changed when I said, I'm going to stop focusing on being lucky. And I'm going to start focusing on being good. I'd rather be good than lucky. I don't care about luck. Luck is actually a trap. The worst thing that could ever happen to you, you come to Las Vegas for the first time and you hit it big. The worst thing that could happen to you. Best thing that happened to you, you come to Vegas, you get your face smashed in at the blackjack table. You can't believe the bad luck you got. Best thing. Best thing. Don't worry, don't focus on luck. Luck is a sucker's game. Do you know what's happening in our whole world? Our whole world is getting sucked into being a sucker. agree. Do you know that this year, 2024, more people gambled than saved or invested in the United States? More people gambled on sports, just sports, than saved or invested. What did all those gambling platforms do? They turned the whole country into a group of suckers. They can't win. Unbelievable, but everybody's like, feels like they're special. They need the dopamine hit. I will tell you one thing. I get all the dopamine I need inside of this profession. Inside of contribution, you'll get all the dopamine you need. You don't need the distraction of anything else causing you to feel something, feel alive. This business will make you feel alive. It'll put a mirror in front of your face and make you stare at yourself too. So, what I encourage people to do is start with the fundamental skills. In our profession, they're very simple. The fundamental skills: finding prospects, inviting, presenting, following up, answering questions and objections, closing, getting people started, and promoting events. Those fundamental skills, start there, okay? Start there. And for those in the room, I want you to just kind of rate yourself, okay? In your notes, 1 through 7, on finding prospects, on a scale of 1 to 10, what are you as far as finding prospects? And realize, even if you think you're a 10 compared to somebody else, you might be a 1 compared to somebody else. You understand what I'm saying? Same skill? You feel like, oh, I have this because I can find prospects. Well, how would that compare with how Jeff Bezos could find prospects? Oh, there's levels. Oh, I guess I could improve. Oh, it's not just having people to talk to, it's getting good results from all of that and making sure they're qualified people. So I'm seeing lots of 2s. There's a 10 up there, that's great. But Jane, I will tell you, your 10, fantastic, but your 10 is a 1 compared to somebody else. So, I don't want you to be tough on yourself, but I do want you to just realize there's levels. So rate yourself on finding prospects and inviting, presenting, follow up, closing, getting people started, promoting events, 1 through 10. The goal is to get yourself to what you perceive to be a 10, and then look for what's the next level. Because there is one. And then generally, what I would like you to do is rate your team. Just generally. If you take on these 7 skills, how would you rate your team? Give them 1 number as far as how skilled are they at these 7 things. Your whole team, would you rate them? What would you rate them? Your team. A 2? Who else? A 4? Who else? Give me a number. How good is your team? A 2? At all 7? Generally. 3 or 4? Sandro, how's your team? 7? All you got to do is get from a 4 to a 7. Seems doable. If you have a big enough vision. There's a lot of stuff you can do. So, I want to share, and if you've followed me for a while, you've heard this, but if you haven't, I'm going to share a mindset shift about skills that changed my life. That replaced a limiting belief with an empowering belief and put me on a track for success. Okay? If you'd like to have that secret, anybody like to have that secret? All right. The rest of you are not interested. Okay. This mindset shift changed my life. It can change yours too. I had a mentor come to me, and his name was Bill, and I said, Bill, how do you have all the success that you have? I don't understand it. Because I remember I grew up in Minnesota, and we were like a lower middle class family, and there was really rich people close, within 5-minute drive. And I used to go to that street and just drive down that street and just go, how? How? That's $1 million home. How? That's a $5 million house. How? Because I'm trying to think by the hour. It doesn't make sense. You get paid $100 an hour, you pay taxes, you live. It hurt my head to figure this out. And then, so I'm asking Bill, who lived in one of those houses. He said, Eric, can you improve 0.3% per day? Is it 0.3? 7 tenths? 0.3? 0.3. Yeah, 0.3% per day. I said, well, yeah, it probably wouldn't take much. Read a couple pages of a good book, listen to something that feeds your mind, take a note, make one extra call, smile one more time than you smiled the day before. Be disappointed for 5 minutes instead of 10 minutes. It doesn't take much to improve that much. It's not that much, right? I said, yeah, I think I could do that. He said, in 1 year, that's 100%. And you are the asset. You are the asset. You're the most valuable thing. So if you improve you by 100% in 1 year, I said, yeah, but Bill, I'm making $5 an hour. He said, well, would $10 an hour be better? I said, yeah, I guess. He said, just trust me on this. In year 2, it's 200%. In year 3, it's 400%. In year 4, it's 800%. In year 5, it's 1,600%. In year 6, it's 3,200%. In year 7, it's 6,400%. Now, he said, Eric, in 7 years, will you be 7 years older anyway? Yep. He said, would you like to be about the same as what you are right now, or would you like to be 6,400% better? I said, I'd like to be 6,400% better. He said, it's all found here. The grinding wheel. Working out these little things. Because check this out. If I was $5 an hour here, which means $10 an hour here, $20 an hour here, 40, 80, 160, 320, $640 an hour. You know what I made in that 7th year? $980,000. I was 29. When $980,000 was worth a lot more than it is now. So, and what changed the whole everything for me were 3 words that helped me stay on this track. It's called plan, do, review. I was researching, trying to help a company find an educational product for children, and I found myself in Ypsilanti, Michigan, at the High Scope Educational Research Foundation. It's a fancy place that taught kids how to learn. And I said, what's your philosophy on how you teach kids how to learn? And they said, we use a simple plan. Every day the kids get in school, they make a plan for the day. Then they do that plan. At the end of the day, they review. And they review what worked good and what worked bad in order to make a better plan for tomorrow. And they're talking about kids, kindergartners. And I went, no. Forget the kids. Not forget the kids, but I need this. And something clicked in my brain. Those 3 words, take any skill you want to learn. Let's say it's presenting. You make a plan for your presentation. You do the presentation. You review, you get the feedback. What worked, what didn't. Make a better plan, do a better presentation. What worked, what didn't. How long does it take? How long does it take? How long does it take before you become 100% better? I realized for the first time in my life, this plus this equals unstoppable. I realized nobody could stop me. I could make as much as I could imagine. Nobody could stop me. We could build a studio like this for $20 million, and nobody could stop me. I could have an impact on millions of people, and nobody could stop me. I could become world class at this, regardless of what my team looks like right now, regardless of what kind of support I'm getting. It doesn't matter. You can't beat me. Because guess what? When this plus this, I realize that there's no good experiences, no bad experiences. There's just learning experiences. And I learned to view every single encounter, every single action that I took as a learning experience. It didn't define me ever. I became an unstoppable force, and here's why. My attitude became, I never lose, and you can't beat me. I'm either going to win or I'm going to learn. I'm either going to have success or I'm going to learn. Do you learn more from failure or from success? Failure. So it changed my relationship with failure. I started to seek out negative feedback so I could learn faster. I started to seek out rejection so I could learn from it. Isn't that weird? I was willing to do it messy. I was willing to put myself in potentially embarrassing situations and just deal with it. I found out that was the key for me. Was I willing to embarrass myself? Was I willing to look foolish, or did I have to look perfect all the time? Because if you have to look perfect, you got to sit behind the curtain for forever until you're perfect before you can come out and start performing it to the world. Or you can learn as you go. And all the greats learned as they went. They were willing to take the feedback, and they were willing to pay attention. And I will tell you, I will plan to review this morning session. I will plan to review this event. I'll plan to review our party. We've planned to review 58,000 times inside this studio. I plan to review a training. I plan to review everything. Every day, everything that I do. I plan to review my workouts. I plan to review my meal preparation now. I plan to review everything. Now again, I had limiting beliefs about nutrition. That was my big boss, nutrition and exercise, because I don't have time. Or I'm just not disciplined. All this stuff. And I finally released that stuff and say, you know what? No. I'm going to apply this to you might struggle with network marketing, but you're amazing in shape. Well, I was great at network marketing, and I was out of shape. So we're the same. So we just got to apply this plus this equals unstoppable. And the great thing I appreciate about network marketing, and what you can appreciate too, is network marketing waited for me. It didn't throw me out. It didn't kick me out. Thank God. So long as I followed the policies and procedures, I could fail as much as I wanted, and they were never going to fire me. Thank God. Because it took me a while for me to find myself. But the great thing about network marketing, in a corporate job, you don't get a feedback loop. You get an annual review. In network marketing, you get an hourly review. You really do. And it's just like, did today work? Did today not work? Right? So you get the feedback loop back in your face, back in your face, back in your face, back in your face, back in your face. And here's what's great about that. You can learn. In Minnesota, they don't have mountains. They have these little hills. And there's a little ski place in Minnesota called Buck Hill. Tony knows where Buck Hill is. Buck Hill, tiny little place. But guess what? It produced more Olympic slalom skiers than Colorado. You know why? Because they had the reps. They go up the little hill, down the hill, up the hill, down the hill, up the hill, down the hill. And in Aspen, they're getting on the gondola and they're going up the thing in 20 minutes. And then they get one more rep. And then another 40 minutes. Then they get one more rep. And in Minnesota, there's rep, 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 rep. And that's the same thing. When you go learn your skills, you build your belief, all that stuff, you have the opportunity to be able to put in the reps. And when you put in the reps, you get more feedback. You get it faster. When you get it faster, you learn faster, and then you become unstoppable. Okay? You apply a bigger vision to this, now we're talking. Now we can really get things moving. So, this is the framework that changed my life and can change yours if you'll adopt it. And what this did, instead of saying, I'm not enough, I can't earn, I don't have any education, I don't have the context, I don't have the skills, it replaced that with an empowering belief that says, I don't have to have all those skills because all I have to do is have the direction and I'll apply this plus this and I'll have the skill. They'll all be mine. So, let me give you a few tips on how to learn faster. And then I want to talk to you about one important thing before we take our first break of the day. Here's how to learn faster. Let me give you some few tips if you want to learn. Who would like to learn faster? Raise your hands. Let's get it over with, right? 1, study. Get good sources, get as much information as you can, get inputs going into your mind on a regular basis, and pay attention to those inputs. Okay? Create the playbook in your notes. Be able to kind of map it out for yourself. Number 2, observation. Look around. Who's having success in your company? Who's growing? Who's good at one particular thing that you could learn from? Ask them, watch, pay attention. Success leaves clues. Find out what other people are doing. You know why I'm having all of these top reps come share with you their best things this weekend? So you can observe what they did and what they're doing in order to be able to have the success that you want. So observation is a big thing. Coaches and mentors, this is literally like a time machine. I realized that a mentor or a coach is like a time machine. Imagine that like this square right here is a mentor or a coach. And if you could walk into this square, you could become 5 years smarter without being 5 years older. Wouldn't that be a cool thing? That's what a coach is. They can help you become 5 years smarter without being 5 years older. Is that worth paying a little bit of money to a coach or a mentor? And I learned something, that the best mentors are actually not personal relationships. Isn't that crazy? I thought it was. You know what I learned? A virtual mentor is 10 times better than a physical mentor. We see movies about mentors, mentoring somebody to some great thing. But if I were to ask Jim Rohn, who is my original mentor, outside of my close family and, you know, a few people who believed in me, but the big guy. If my family knew him and said, our son is going through difficult times. He's had 18 jobs. Would you come over and sit with him, Mr. Rohn, and train him for 3 hours on how he can change his life? And let's say Mr. Rohn said yes, and he came over to the house. He sat down with me on the couch, and I sat down and I took notes, and he did a little seminar just for me, right? Could I ask him to come back tomorrow and do it again? Could I ask him to come back once a week? I could ask. He's probably not going to say yes. even if he did it once as a favor. But you know what? The first little audio program I bought from Mr. Rohn was $70, and it was called The Challenge to Succeed. And it was a 3-hour audio program, and I tell you, I listened to it 1,000 times. I could give that seminar in my sleep. I committed, it burned a groove in my head. So I got 3,000 hours of Mr. Rohn for $70 instead of 3 hours once and a few notes that would get lost. Understand? So finding a coach, Elon Musk is a mentor, he doesn't even know it. Jeff Bezos is a mentor to me, he doesn't even know my name. Probably never will. But he's still a mentor, and he can't do anything about it. He's going to teach me, and he does not have a choice. I'm going to learn from him. Okay? So find these coaches and mentors and get yourself in there, because if you can pull the future into your present faster, this coach buys you a year. This coach buys you 3 years. This coach buys you 5 years. This coach buys you 10 years. All of a sudden, you're 10 years, 20 years ahead of where you were going to be, and it costs you a few dollars to get access. Okay? So coaches and mentors are a cheat code. It's literally a cheat code. And the biggest study, observation, coaches and mentors, the biggest is taking action. The whole plan, do, review, feedback loop that I just talked about. Taking action. The learning is in the doing. The learning is in the doing. Be willing to start messy. A lot of people are not willing to do that. Learn as you go. And finally, this is another cheat code, teaching. You want to learn something? Teach it. How many of you have ever been a teacher? Who learns more, the student or the teacher? Teacher. Teacher, because they hear it over and over. The student hears it once. The teacher hears it over and over. So long before you feel like you're qualified to be a teacher, take the notes that you have and teach them tonight on a Zoom. Teach them tomorrow with your team. Have an emergency call with everybody in your organization over the weekend. And take your notes and teach them as quick as you can, because as you teach them, they'll get burned into your head. And even if they don't get it, the exercise will work for you. Okay? So those little things to go faster. Now I want to give you one final thing. I'm going to talk deeper on strategy for tomorrow, but this is part of awareness. And I want to give you one simple concept. I'll call it your days. And on one side, there's productive. And on the other side is lost. And I want you to think about your time. I want you to think about your days. I want you to think about your productivity. Okay? And I want you to be honest. Ready? Some days we get up with good intentions. But because we're self-employed, it's just one thing leads to another, and pretty soon the day's lost. It's like, well, I'll start again tomorrow. It's time for dinner. Sometimes you just start scrolling and you don't stop. The day's gone. Or you get distracted, or you get caught talking to each other instead of talking to prospects. You know, you spend all day talking to each other. Yeah, I'm excited. No, I'm excited too. No, you don't understand. I'm really more excited than you. Let me tell you why I'm excited. Well, there's a whole world out there that has not been educated on what you're excited about. So, if you're honest and you divided your life into you had to pick one of two. It was productive in pushing your business forward, however you want to measure that, or it was lost. Okay? I want you to take the last 365 days, the last 12 months. Approximately, how many lost days and how many productive days? In the last 365. Be honest. God is watching. And I want you to write down a number, because a number came into your head. Write it down. How many were lost? How many were productive? So my $1 million earning friends, raise your hands. $1 million earning friends. How many lost days did you have in the last 12 months? 50? Jeff? Approximate? About. Give me an estimate. How many moved your business forward and how many were just kind of lost doing other things? I'm just talking about not lost as far as enjoying your life, lost as far as moving your business forward. 40? Sandro? Huh? 10? Only 10 lost days. Wow, that's like unbelievable. Tony? 60? 60 days lost? Who else? Yeah? How many? 50? 50? Seeing kind of a trend. These are the $1 million earners. Now let me show you something. If those of you who are making six figures, raise your hands if you're making six figures. Keep your hands up. How many lost days? 30? Really? I want a hidden camera following you around. How many? 100. How many? 25 to 50? 85? 120? Ed? 30? 100? Ed? 70? How many? 25? Really?
I put it so much I jeopardize my family.
Okay, fine. 160. Are you seeing a difference? It kind of went from 50 up. And the lower you go in income, the more the lost days are going to be showing up. The less consistency, the less you're showing up. So how valuable would it be if you could decrease the lost days? Right? And still show up for your family. Decrease the lost days and still do the things you enjoy. Decrease the lost days and still have it all. How valuable it would be for your team to reduce the lost days. This is a huge thing. For most people on your team, and I will tell you, if we had a reality show for every one of the $1 million earners that said it was 50, 60, and we had a hidden camera in their house, we'd have a different number. Because sometimes we call it productive, it wasn't productive. We're going through the motions, kissing babies, taking selfies. What's up? I had a Zoom, it was a productive day. Woo. So, again, awareness is everything. So I want you to make a list of strategies that you can use to keep yourself in productivity mode and still have what you want in your life. Okay? Both of those things are possible. Like, I try and have as many productive days as I possibly can, but health was important to me, and I needed to make some big changes. So my day doesn't start until 11 a.m. now. Everything before that is for me. 7 a.m., I'm in the red light therapy bed. Then I go into the sauna. That's 20 minutes. Sauna for 40 minutes. Then I'm cold plunge. Right? Huh? You're not doing it? Cold plunge is amazing, by the way. Then I work out with a trainer, do resistance training. Then I do cardio. Then I go shower and have breakfast. My second breakfast. I have the first one before. And I'm ready to go at 11. Okay, that's what I decided for me because it was important. Okay, that's probably overdoing it. You probably don't need to do 3 hours a day.
Your results speak for it,
But I needed to I had 57 years of self-abuse to deal with in a short period of time, so that's why I'm making that shift. You can do the same with your family. You can carve out times for different things. You can make it all happen. So I want you to make a list of strategies and understand this. It starts with you. It starts with you. If you get yourself more productive and you show your team how they could become more productive, everything will change. So find out constant reminders to cause you to stay in the game. Because we can fall into a bit of a coma and be like zombies walking through our network marketing experience, pretending that we're working. And if we showed it to the world, and the world didn't even know anything about network marketing, they would say, well, we know why. We know why they're not succeeding. It's obvious. They're not talking to anybody. They're getting ready to get ready to get ready to get ready, and they won't pull the trigger. They won't go. So we're going to go on a quick break. And for those watching on social media, this is the end. This is the end of your preview. If you want to watch more, go to GoPro2024.com the rest of the weekend to join us for the rest of the weekend. Rachel Lalji, #1 earner in her company, is coming back after the break. And then I've got a few things that are going to blow your mind before we take our lunch break, so in the next session. But we'll take 15 minutes right now. We'll come back with Rachel and some mind-blowing stuff, all right? See you in 15 minutes.